little ready for being a Colt today.
Come on.
All right.
Right to
So
you.
so you met with Shane Steichen at your pro day, and you guys both have Philip Rivers in common. How have you guys been able to kind of build that relationship throughout the pre-draft process?
Yeah, I think that this has been really fortunate for me to just have an inner circle, specifically in relation to Coach Steichen. Throughout this whole process, there's no place that I would rather be than back in Indiana. So even when I was at the combine in Indianapolis, it kind of just felt like home, and to have him around was really cool.
James Boyd.
Raleigh, welcome back to Indiana, I guess. But as far as when it comes to the Colts, what did they tell you about your game and what they liked about it, and also you yourself? What do you think you can improve on at the next level?
Yeah, I think a couple of things that they enjoyed was number one, my ability to extend plays and make plays as a playmaker. I think they like my preparation and the way that I handle things off the field. I think the intangibles are something that I can take advantage of and help the quarterback room in whatever way possible. And some things I'm trying to get better at. There are a lot of things, man. I don't think I'm nearly the player I want to be, and I have a lot of potential. But I think being able to play with my eyes and be a little bit more disciplined in the pocket, right? You're not going to be able to extend the plays that you did in college as much. So operating in the pocket and playing on time are a couple of things that I really want to emphasize.
Yeah, Bone.
Riley, what do you remember about your conversations with Shane at the pro day? I know he doesn't come to a lot of pro days, but went to yours at Notre Dame.
Yeah, to have a head coach at your pro day and tell you through it well afterwards is, all the difference maker. So to see him, take the short drive up to South Bend, 2 hour drive or something like that, was really cool.
Lara.
Riley, congratulations. You and Daniel Jones will now be in the same quarterback room. You both have the Duke connection. How familiar you are with Daniel? How much time have you gotten to maybe spend with him because of the Duke connection?
Yeah. The Duke connection is great. I think it's really cool for us to be able to. He actually just called me, and Anthony Richardson texted me as well. So to have the Duke connection was really something special. We went out to eat a couple weeks ago. Whenever he came down to train with David Morris, we trained with the same guy. So we had dinner a few weeks ago, which was great.
Do a few more here. Jake Arthur.
Yeah, so you obviously had the national championship against Ohio State. The Colts did draft JT Tuimoloau in the second round. What has been your impression of him, being able to play against him, and then also how have you kind of used your experience from the national championship to kind of build things moving forward?
Yeah, I think he's absolutely an outstanding player and somebody that being able to compete against him is incredible. So anytime you can play against the best of the best is a blessing. But now to be able to play with them will be pretty interesting as well. So we'll have a few conversations and a little bit of trash talk to be talking the first time I see him.
Do a couple more. Chat.
Yeah, Riley, I saw again the thing with the Philip Rivers. If you could just give the background on how that's worked and what he's been able to share with you, maybe about quarterbacking in the Colts. I don't know.
Yeah. We actually threw. Oh man, when did I throw them? A couple of days ago, I went over to his house. He's got a really cool place in his backyard where he'll throw. And I was able to throw with his younger son, who's an outstanding talent, by the way, Gunnar
The
Rivers.
Gunner, yeah.
Yes, and I think probably the biggest thing that I learned was just how intentional he is about every little thing. Like if we're doing the warm up and we're taking 5-step drops, those 5-step drops, have to be, pristine in order for them to be good enough for him. So, sorry if I lost you there.
All right.
Coach Freeman was Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Coach Freeman was calling me. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think the littlest details to him are the most important in the world.
James Boyd.
So, Raleigh, I can tell you're excited. Can you just give us the reaction to everything and also just having to wait your turn and then finally hearing your name called?
Yeah, I think it's just a sigh of relief. The whole draft process, every time Indiana comes on the screen, I'm crossing my fingers and, it came at the perfect time. Couldn't ask for much more. All I wanted to be, the only place I wanted to be was in Indianapolis. And to hear my name called, it didn't matter the round. I just wanted to be in the building with the guys.
And last one here, Kevin Bone.
Riley, did you have a lot of gear from other teams? Like
I
obviously
had one other team gear. So it was this and the Ravens, but this was I had this, and then they gave me like a couple of hats. So I kind of was banking on the Colts.
Riley,
Awesome.
quick a follow up on the shirt. Were you wearing that shirt all day, or you just had it ready to go when the Colts game?
I wasn't wearing it all day now, but I promise you, every time Indiana was on the clock, it got a little quiet in the room.